The nature of classification. Terminology. Biological classification. The systematic grouping of organisms into categories on the basis of defined criteria is considered biological classification. This is considered the systematic grouping of organisms into different categories based on their physical and evolutionary relationships or their biological categories. Taxonomy is the science of identifying and classifying all organisms. The Swedish naturalist Carl Linnaeus in 1707 to 1778 is considered to be the father of taxonomy. He introduced a consistent way of grouping species according to their morphological or physical similarities. Here's an example. A binomial nomenclature is the formal system of naming a species whereby each species is assigned what's called a genus, followed by a specific name. The two words taken together form the species name. A genus, a taxonomic level, consisting of a group of similar species. If we look at this picture, we know that this is an example of a rose. And it's then called a briar rose. If you study roses, you'll see there are very different kinds of roses. So Linnaeus gave the briar rose the scientific name Rosa canina. The first name is the genus name Rosa, and the second name is the specific name canina. Linnaeus further grouped species into taxonomic ranks or levels based on shared characteristics. Each level is called a taxon, which is singular, and plural is taxa. A lot of biology terms are Latin in origin. So if you've studied Latin, you will notice where these endings are coming from. The word kingdom is the highest taxonomic level of the traditional Linnaean system of classification. Here is an example of different types of species. We have the classifications or the taxons in order: the kingdom, the phylum, the class, the order, the family, the genus, and the species. And then we're given for the human, the walrus, the bald eagle, and the honeybee. And you'll notice that there are some similarities in that they're all animals, and that's about it. So it really helps us to know what the characteristics are for these particular species. So we call this the traditional taxonomic ranks of classification. The dichotomous keys. A dichotomous key is a structure in which a large set of items is broken down into smaller subsets, ultimately leading to the smallest available classification unit. At each step in the identification process, the user must choose between two defining statements. Each alternative, or choices, leads to a result or another choice. Eventually, the key ends with the classification of the organism into a given taxonomic level. A dichotomous key identifies an organism based on the presence or absence of carefully chosen characteristics. Here is an example. We first look at, are the bills elongated or not elongated? Then we look at, are they strongly curved or straight? Then we look at, is the bill uniform in width or is the bill greatly widened at the end? Or if we chose the bill is not elongated, is it straight or slightly hooked? If it's straight, it's a cardinal, and if it's strongly hooked, it's an eagle. So this helps us understand the classification. In summary then, classification systems are useful but extremely variable. The science of classifying living things is called taxonomy. All species are given a unique binomial two-word species name. Traditional taxonomy groups species together according to shared characteristics. Scientists often disagree about the criteria used to group species. Traditional taxonomy groups species into a number of major levels or taxa. Dichotomous keys are often used to help identify species.